It's been over a year since the attack on the American embassy in Benghazi, Libya, but the families of the 4 victims continue to search for answers. The brutal Benghazi attack, which later would be described as planned and precise, spanned over 10 hours and took the lives of 4 Americans in 2 separate locations.
Make no mistake, justice will be done.
Tyrone Woods, a father of 3, had ignored orders to stand down and instead fought to his death to save the lives of others. Tyrone's father, Charles Woods, appeared on our show last month and told us he'd reached out to President Obama for answers.
I did send the president a letter saying that there are several questions that I would like to have answered in order to bring closure to my family. I'm sure that he will. He's very busy right now with Syria, but I'm sure when his plate is more empty, he will respond to that.
With all due respect, I don't care how full his plate is, you deserve an answer, the rest of America deserves an answer, and the president should make time to give you and the rest of this country an answer as to why your son died in Benghazi that night. Well, since that appearance, Charles received this response from the president. But did he get the answers that he was asking for? Charles Woods once again joins us. Charles, it's great to have you back.
Thank you
so very much. Do you feel that the president answered the questions that you raised in your letter to him?
The 2 most important questions he did not answer.
And what were those questions?
Okay, first of all would be, who gave the order to stand down? Now, I wanted to make sure that there was an order to stand down, so I actually contacted the reporter that initially reported that, and that reporter told me that they personally talked with a friend of Ty who was on the ground with him, and there were 3 orders to stand down. Now, that not only probably would have saved the life of our ambassador if there had not been that delay 3 times. Plus the fact, if Ty was ordered to stand down and told that not to, that there wouldn't be any support, any rescue for the ambassador, there sure would not be any rescue for him.
You know, the president in his letter to you said this, Charles. He said, on that tragic day, I directed my national security team to do everything possible to respond to the attacks against our people and facilities in Benghazi. The United States government considered a range of options and deployed additional military capabilities. But as our military leaders have said, the military forces needed to carry out the type of operation you described were not close enough to have made a difference. Do you believe that that is in fact the truth?
Oh, no, that is not a correct statement. The military leaders did not tell the president, well, let's say the Joint Chiefs of Staff anyway, that there were not assets immediately available. In fact, Congressman Jason Chaffetz, immediately after this happened, went to Benghazi with General Ham. General Ham was a 4-star general in charge of all of AFRICOM. Mm-hmm. He had control of the assets. He wanted to rescue. That's the standing order, always rescue. He received orders from above, and there's only 2 people in the White House above him that could have contradicted the normal procedure to rescue.
Well, you know, one of the statements that he made, he said, this is from Congressman Chaffetz, he said, I appreciate the president's response to Mr. Woods, but I remain skeptical of the lack of military response during the Benghazi attack. Brave Americans were struggling to stay alive while wishing for the arrival of U.S. military personnel. Although some forces were repositioned, none were directed toward the sound of the guns. You know, it sounds like there's a contradiction here. The official version is we tried, we couldn't do anything. The president even went so far in his letter to you, and I want to quote this statement. He said that, please know that my actions would have been the same if the attack had been against my own family. Do you believe that that is in fact the case? Obviously, our audience does not.
I asked him that question, and this is a father-to-father personal question from my heart. Now, I don't know about him, but I know myself. I would not have checked out for 7 hours, as the Secretary of Defense said, that the President did, and then not even worried about it. I could not and would not have gone to sleep until I know that every effort was made to rescue. No effort was made. I mean, for 3 hours after it even happened, Ty's body was on the tarmac. An American plane wasn't even sent to, not only to not rescue, but not even to pick up his body. And when he says, we didn't have time to respond, how do you know you didn't have time to respond? This was almost an 8-hour battle. He didn't know how long it was going to last, whether it was 1 hour, 8 hours, or 8 days. But I have talked with a fighter pilot, highly decorated, who has 25 years experience. And he says that within approximately 1 hour, F-16s could have hot landed in Italy and could have completed their mission in Benghazi with drop tanks, and then if their fuel was low, could have flown to the capital city of Libya. So that is not correct.
So the letter, you got a response, but it never answered those basic questions that you had. Charles, when you were here last time, you gave me a picture of your son Ty. I put that picture right in front of me in my office. It sits there every day. There's not a day that goes by I don't see Charles's picture in front of me. I'm not going to forget, and we're not going to let this country forget what Ty and these other Americans went through. I can't thank you enough for being here. We want to continue to keep in touch because I don't want this country to let this issue alone until we know the truth. Charles, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Always a delight and pleasure. Thank you, sir. Charles Woods.